All right, man, we are back. We are back. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
And that's a cop stepped out for a hot second.
Yeah, man, we back again. 404-500-1605. I need for you to keep hitting those buttons over there, all of them, because any button that you hit is going to help our
algorithm
go up. Because as I've said before, Amazon Music, YouTube, Spotify. Come on, man, hit the button. Just hit it. Then something gonna pop up, let you know that you're following. Then all you gotta do is slide to the right usually, and there's a button that says share, and it has an arrow. Hit that and just share it somewhere. Just let other people, share it to your people so they can follow us also, man. Because I'm telling you, we're on our way. If you want to come with us, you better get on right now.
And some of y'all missed the beginning of the show when I said to you all how we got over 40,000 views on a couple of these videos, man, 28,000. I mean, it's just going crazy. But I need some of y'all to check out some of the responses and comments because I really want some of you all, number one fan, Glenn. Hey, man, y'all jump in and tag. Oh, I see you check there, Oh, you would love to get some of these comments,
yes,
some of these fans.
Oh, yes, he would.
We got some fan made some comments that we really can't respond to like we want to.
Yeah.
But I wish some of y'all would.
I actually hit a like on somebody's comment, and then I was like, you know what? They probably saw that I was tagging this thing. Let me take my like back off because I don't want them to come at me and make me have to respond because again, it could, that trolling thing could be something. So. Try not to do that. So that's what we need y'all for. Unc, you would love it. I promise you.
You better attack some of these folk, boy. You better tell some of these folk what you really feel.
He would be going down the list.
Because some of these folks. Whew.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, man. So listen, next topic that we're going to do, we're going to talk about what I like to call pastorship. Has pastorship really become big business? Have we lost the message of the word to the big business? And then why is it that so many of us in our culture, that's what we talk about. This is dialogue for our culture, our community. Why are so many of us locking in only on these big pastors with the big names, or what I say called pastorships? I meant to post the link to the video where the pastor said that he was in the Bahamas? He said he went to the Bahamas. And he said Pastor T.D. Jakes was there, and he said that to get a good seat, it was $2,000. For everybody else, it was $1,000. Now think about what we're saying here. You're actually talking about paying $2,000 or $1,000 to go hear a pastor speak, usually on telling you how you need to be rich also, after you done probably gave him your last bit. Think about that. We've kind of shunned, not everybody, but most of us have kind of a lot of us, I ain't gonna say most, have kind of shunned the small church and the pastor that's actually speaking the word instead of speaking of what you need to do to become wealthy, giving you instructions on that when you're supposed to be up there. These videos really had me thinking a lot about that. So what do y'all think about it? Have we lost the word to big business?
I don't even think it's about losing the word. I think what's happened in our community, the churches used to be like where everybody got everything from what's going on, from Sunday school. You got to know each other because you went to Sunday school together, and then afterwards you'd eat, fellowship. And when you get to these larger churches, because Bishop Eddie Long, throwing everything else that came out later on out. I used to go I saw him twice speak on New Year's Eve. I used to like to bring in the church, New Year. Listen, he was a dynamic speaker. But when I went to his church, my cousin Tara's gonna get me on this, but when I went to his church, I was really impressed by it, but I was like kind of put off because I showed up early and I made it inside, but I was watching the TV. It's one of the break-off rooms. I didn't even see him, so it's like a disconnect. And I think what happens now is more about the fact that, I go to this church, I go to that church, People don't even talk about the word, because it used to be when you said,
just to say that they went to that, they go to that church.
What did you hear? Did I hear this or whatever? The word, people speak about the word, what did the preacher preach? And now all you hear about is, I go to this church.
You know what, though, to your point?
Hold on, because I saw what he said too.
She said, who cracked on me?
Once TDJ fix that lips, I'll listen to how to get wealthy. But I'll be damned if I pay $2,000 to get spit on.
Hey, man, I looked over at that man.
So I ain't want you to talk about we over here laughing and you like,
I couldn't hold it, man. I wasn't expecting that.
Lo, you hit on this one too, because you brought it up a lot. But I think the biggest thing that I disagree with, if some of these preachers have maybe 100-something thousand people on their IG and everything else, and you never hear them speak on any issues. You never hear them speak on any issues. When you have a social issue like me, I harp on it a lot. New age rap, not like, not the good ones, but the rappers like that all they talk about is gun violence and drugs. Those are the ones I'm hitting. I'm not saying all rappers, but the modern rappers, that's all that preachers hate. You've never seen one of them speak out against it. You've never seen any one of them. Imagine if they said, hey, look, talk about let's vote, let's do this. They don't even talk about it, and it all comes down to they don't want to keep that tax-exempt status. They don't want to have to say what they did with that $2,000 payment he got in the Caribbean, where that money went, or if it even got back to his account, or did he claim it. That's what they worry about. It's all about the dollar now.
Go ahead, Tony. You was about to say something before we started laughing.
Oh, he mentioned how, the eloquent speakers con men normally are. And I'm not saying all are con men, but, as I was saying earlier, my ex-father-in-law was a pastor. Small church. Mm-hmm. The money collected in the offering doesn't go to his salary. He has a job. That goes to the community. Mm-hmm. He takes care of people in the community with that money. Mm-hmm. There's a church that was down the street from my house when I lived in Virginia. They collected $250,000 every Sunday.
Wow.
Every Sunday. They bragged about that $250,000 every Sunday. Mm. They didn't say what they did with that. They didn't say that they did community functions with that. Like, they didn't do anything for the community with that. You got a church that'll raise $250,000, some that'll raise more than that. You can buy land and do a development for the people with that money, even if you only did it with one Sunday. It's still something that you're doing for the community versus, I need a new jet. My other jet is old.
That's crazy that you
I need
said
a new
it that
jet.
way. You could just use one Sunday to actually help the community, just one Sunday out of the year. That's crazy.
1 out of 52.
Well, and I don't want to rag on him, because me and my dad used to get into it about this, because his church, I'm going to say it out because I'll really get in trouble, but they used to have these hats and T-shirts. I said, Dad, where you going? He was as happy as hell. He was going out to hand out food to the homeless. And where I ran afoul with it, and I talked about it, because I policed for 30 years in Atlanta. And there's a lot of black individuals that took their own money and went out and handed out food. But all the big churches that hand out food for the homeless 7 days a week so they can actually get fed are white. And there's a lot of money in Atlanta, but it doesn't filter out. Like my last 2 years, I was in Zone 1. That's North Side, Joseph E. Lowry, used to be Ashby, The Bluff, and all those areas. And some of the large churches, and I'm not knocking them, because one of them, I love Jasper Williams Church, but he's a dynamic speaker. But there's some other ones where you see all the tags coming in, and none of them are even Fulton County. It's like the Cab, Cobb, Gwinnett, everybody's coming to be seen. And when they have food and fellowship, my unit was semi-plain clothes and street-level narcotics. and arrest teams, CSU, and we're up the street, and they didn't invite us over for functions. But the bluff is right there. The bluff is right there. And I know some of the smaller churches, because I actually started in Zone 1, used to have a bus, and I think some of them still do, that would go around and pick up young people and old people and bring them to church. And the old ladies of the church would make food and hand them out to these kids, and that's how they were bringing some of them into the church. But what I say that to say, they weren't trying to save none of the souls in the bluff. And I can't say they didn't go down there, because I don't know personally. I'm just going from what I saw. Mm-hmm. And they also directing the traffic, and they coming in and coming right back out. That's what I think hurts us as a people, because we've disconnected even with God in our own communities.
And I'm trying to.
So, I think, and interesting comments here. I'm going to read a couple of them in a minute, but, it's amazing how some of these guys are hyping themselves up. And what concerns me about a lot of these pastors is how the people are lifting them up above the message. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you start seeing people cheer on the man, that's when they can get the jets, because they are literally worshiping this guy.
TD Jakes.
Yeah, and and the thing about somebody like a TD Jakes, right? Like he said some things that are dynamic. He said some words that are, and it kind of puts your mind what Millennial said. He said, what was that message that he said that, they like rap lyrics, sermons other but rap lyrics with a choir and organ playing behind it, because sometimes that's, it has, these kind of rhythms to it, and and we got a comedian, Benji Brown. When I interview him, he does this little thing where he can just change the voice, and all of a sudden, and he'd be like, it makes you feel what and it's, but the give back part. There are some churches that are doing good things, and we have smaller churches
doing a lot.
You think they tend to do the right thing for the most part. Not all of them, but there are some of them who are kind of still down home churches, and they collect the offering. They still put what the offering was up there. It might not be but $800-something.
Or read it off.
You know what I mean? The old First Baptist churches. You know what I mean?
That building fund, boy.
Yeah, but those prices ain't nobody getting rich in there. But when they get to the point where they're getting these mega churches and these mega millions, then the message is getting tarnished. And those are the ones that I'd be disappointed about, because of those platforms they now have. If you're going to have that big of a platform and you're going to get that much money, how do you not give back? And how do you not, and sometimes giving back, we said about this, sometimes it ain't monetary. Sometimes it's about what you do, what you say. And and these guys, these white religious leaders ain't worried about that tax exempt stuff, because they saying whatever they want to say. Yeah. They coming out. Remember these folks said that 45 was God sent. That's what he said. That's what they said. They said he's God sent. There was a whole group of them talking about how this is a man of God. Give me a freaking break. You know what I'm saying? And they had no problem. They ain't worried about no tax exempt stuff. But our folks won't do it. They won't do it. You had some, JT, if I read this?
No, I thought Tony was going to say something.
Go ahead.
But no, I was going to say that this one pastor, he called them out, man. He put names and pictures up. Benny Hinn, TD Jakes, Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar. He said, these are pulpit thieves. And then he also discussed the thing about the $2,000 ticket.
Is he the one that showed TD Jakes at the birthday party with Puff Daddy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they say about Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
TD Jakes got
now he was at the birthday party with Puffy. Puffy leaning all on him, and You know what I mean? And they showed them. Then they had a little party afterwards. They was on the stage and they had TD doing the dance. And you know what? I don't even have a problem with that because I appreciate a pastor that can still relate and still, you know what I mean? I don't have no problem with a pastor. You know, I remember one of my favorite pastors of all time was Pastor Fleming in Dallas, Texas. And, you know, and he always told the parents, man, let your kids go to these parties. Let them do X, Y, Z. Don't make them, you know, resent later on. Let them enjoy life. Let them be kids. Let them do these things. You know what I mean? And they can and just make sure they come to church. You know what I mean? But don't put them in some box. You know what I mean? And he always said that, y'all. Don't put them in a box. Let them live. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, you know, because in college, you know, you find that preacher's kid, that girl, hey, boy,
What?
she was fair game because she was ready.
Ready.
You know what I mean?
Ready to bust open.
But Unc
Preacher's
said
kid, principal's kid.
92% of American religious leaders are full of it. Naturally, he said FOS. You have on there Jamal Bryant. He was here first. If you really get them in private, they will tell you it's all about the Benjamins. Really think about it. How often do you see most outside of the church doing the work to aid the needy? What do W2F does a pastor need a new car every 1 to 2, 3 years for? That don't get them started. Number one, say, how about Paula White, Franklin Graham, and every mega white pastor, butt licking 45. Glenn said 45 with Jim Jones.
That's not 45.
That's our number one fan.
Put your glasses
He
on.
said
That's not
TD
45.
Jason Puffy album coming soon.
She said,
I read it.
she said
read it.
45 is Tom Jones.
But you know, I mean, that'd be my issue with him, man. But then here's the flip side of this is that other preacher who's calling him out, I don't necessarily like his style because he's so old school and, you know, he's one of the guys who don't believe in, you know, he believes you're supposed to still dress a certain way, come to
Let's talk about
church.
some other things he believes
He still, What you mean?
Some of those other topics.
Such as, go ahead.
Alphabets.
He dogs that out. And he calls out the pastors who approve of that. You know, who says, you know, what kind of man of God are you if you allow this in your church? And so then my question is, how do we feel about preachers calling out preachers in such a preacher beef? They got real beef.
And
I just think what he's doing, if he doesn't put it out there, all he's doing is saying what a lot of people are thinking. That's why, and I think the disconnect is the exact opposite of what they thought. When you have, I like the fine brimstone style preaching, you know, but when you get the preachers that are teaching prosperity, if you pray to God, you get a Lexus and a $300,000, $450,000 house, just tired. And the ones that make people bring in their tax returns and everything else just to join the church. You know, I'm not gonna name the names, but there's several big churches in Atlanta where you have to turn in your tax returns. And so, yeah. But my point is, if you can't, it's gotten so far away from the word in a lot of these churches, if you can't call out what's wrong in the community, who's to do it?
And the minute you ask me to give you my tax return, the minute I get up and walk out, and I'm not even put my finger up. You know what I mean? The finger, I ain't even put my finger up. I'm just getting up and leaving.
Look, I'm gonna put my finger up, put my whole hand up. Be like, man, crazy, man.
Ain't no my tax return.
I'm put that one finger up. I'm put that one finger up.
All right, I'm put my whole hand up like this, man.
And you know
Get out of here.
Yeah. And then it's like I can remember when the scandal on Bishop Eddie Long first came out.
There he is.
Yeah, you going off.
Yeah, he going in.
When Bishop Eddie Long first came out, and what was alleged at the time, I still had hair back then, and I was at Primetime Barbershop, and two grown ass men, a dude jumped up, you don't talk about my preaching, because everybody was going in on what had happened. And he just knew he was about to get his ass drugged in a barbershop over a comment on a preacher, and that goes back to what you're saying. People are starting to look at them like demigods instead of what they are, a vessel of God. And just because you're a vessel of God, Reverend Tobos, thank you, Beach Grove Baptist Church, Clinton, Louisiana, talked about that. He said, I'm not guaranteed to go to heaven. I've strayed. I'm but a vessel of God. And I think if they get back to that and more real and call out, like when rappers, I'm not saying all rappers, but when they start talking, all this is poison the minds of youth, and they don't call it out. Or even if you disagree with some of the things that's said in politics, okay, they don't even speak out against Trump. But like you said, every white preacher's co-signing and dotting and crossing eyes and everything else. So like I said, they want to say, and they allow Biden to say, you ain't black if you don't vote. And he said that right after leaving a black church.
Biden said that in jest for the 1,000th time.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, were you in Biden's mind?
You could just tell he laughed about it as he said it. It was in jest, but they want to ride that wave on that thing. But I just remember, like, it was this guy, one of Lee's cousins. He was at Creflo's church, and he was like, again, one of them people who, my pastor, he was just, you know what I mean? It was, and so, man, my pastor, man, today, he gave away a car in church today. He gave away one of his cars, and he was so excited about it. And I said, well, who did he get a car away to? Oh, man, one of the people at the church, man. I said, well, who was the person in the church? She was the secretary of the church. I'm like, wait a minute, brother. You excited about him giving away one of his cars to a secretary?
Of the church.
I'm sure there was an audience member in there who had 4 kids, need to get to work, and need a car. If you want to impress me, that would have impressed me.
Right.
But to get to the secretary who works at the church, that's not impressive to me. Oh, man, you just don't, you know what I mean? He was so defensive. I'm like, but
He kept it in the family.
how is that impressive to you? That doesn't do anything. Someone who really needs it, man. There's some folks in that church that could have really used that car. You know what I mean? Who really needed that car. Not saying the lady didn't, but she works at the church. Come on, that was a show. That was a show at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was a show at that point.
All right, man, we're gonna take a break. Real quick, Milton Williams said he doesn't tithe anymore. He just helps people who need help. I like that one. And last thing I'm gonna say on this is that I hope that if anybody out there is part of a small church, I just hope that your church is not lost to what could end up being a greed or peer pressure to have a small church do what they can to become that big church. Classic Conversation with JT and Lo.
And that's a cup.
We'll be one cigar burning, one in my hand. I forgot. Yo, all right, we back. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo.
And that's a cup.
Hey man, it's getting crazy. Again, man, we're gonna have to start doing some recordings of our conversations in between takes. That's some real. That's gold. Honestly, that's gold. We're gonna have to start doing that a little more. But yeah, we back, man. Again, need you to hit those buttons on the side, like, love, care, cry, get mad at us. It doesn't matter. Any button that you hit is going to help our
Algorithm
go up. This is what 1, 2, 3. This is my 3rd time saying it. Spotify, Amazon Music, and also YouTube, man. That's all it takes. That's it. Hit the button. Just hit the button. That's all I'm asking you to do. Hit the button once. But then if you want to do me another favor, hit it again and hit share. It's usually to the right, and it has the arrow. The arrow as in sharing it out. Moving it out. Do that for us. That's what we ask, because we're on our way some places. So listen, man, this topic we're gonna get into right now.
I'll read the comments first.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're gonna do the comments in regards to the pastorships, and then we're gonna move on to the next topic.
All right, real quick. Glenn said pastors have become lovers of themselves. Ask Cop was messing up the FBI investigation. Number 1 said mega pastor was sitting next to 45. She never stepped inside his church again. I read that one already. She says a great church in Norfolk that's doing great work, getting folks out of debt, been doing it for years. White churches do take care of black people more than black churches. That's a sad thought. I read that one. For the TD Jakes and Puffy album coming soon. Collection Plate Chronicles. That's hilarious. Rep your set home and United Methodist on this block. You are silly. I don't want to see your taxes. My mom said she never gave her tax return. You got religious crazies who will kill you faster than gangbangers. Now that's true. But that's all over the world though, man. Because you got to figure the wars over in Afghanistan, all them wars been going on for years, and it's all religious wars. These are religious wars, man. So that says a lot. I wonder if Puffy and TDJ is going to do a tribute song to Eddie Long featuring Creflo and Joel Osteen on the chorus. That dude is sick. Kiki said, preachers are so judgmental, but I've accepted preaching as an occupation. So I just try to get the message from the lecture, but I'm not giving zero tithes ever. I'm not giving no church 10% of my pay. Lena said, just a matter what God is saying, the goal is to reach souls for Christ, care for the poor and community, and help the oppressed. That's correct. Not to get rich and buy jets. He gave it to the secretary, but he did it. I better know why too. Wink, wink. Here goes the cop again. He got it again. Give out fake news about President Biden. I got that speech on tape. He was joking. I know, man. They all try to push that same agenda. Unc said, let me add this. Angelo, you know I have to try to get so-called believers in Christ to have a simple press conference to denounce Trump for his actions and conduct. A good pastor took on the mission to get 10 ministers to speak. He could not get 3. Wow. I believe it.
For sure.
Any church that gives out free gas, free turkeys, quarters, and laundry products is all right with me. There we go. Appreciate all those comments, y'all.
All right, the one comment I'm going to highlight, my man Milton said, people are so caught up into pastors, the old mindset of just don't worry about where the money goes is so dang tired. He said, not him. And with that, I'll say this, man. You kind of worry about where the money goes when you're not doing anything for the community, or when you're not doing anything for the community. That's when people start saying, "Man, we giving you all this money. Why ain't you doing something?" If you're doing something, I don't think people will care. They're tithing as long as you're doing something. I don't think people really worry about where the money is going. But when you're not doing anything, people are going to worry about it. It's like if you're giving money to if you go to buy something and you don't get nothing in return, you want to know where your money went. Kind of the same premise. I mean, a little off, but it's the same premise with that. All right, going on into the next subject. The documentary BS High. It's basically about a gentleman that actually created his own high school and started a football team and made a lot of money off of it. And he took advantage of a lot of families. He was trying to make it seem like a charter school, so he was recruiting kids and getting people to send their kids to him. Now, I think I would say maybe 85% of the kids on that team came from single mother-led households. So it led us to think, the movie itself is a whole topic, but do you think that if there was a father in that house that he would have been able to get away with this? So are there a lot of scammers positioning themselves as mentors, taking advantage of single mother household, especially when the single mother has a boy in the home?
I think it's more along the lines of social economics. There's a lot of single mothers out there that's making in the 6 figures and money where they don't have to be dependent on somebody. That's another story. But I think he preyed upon the poor. And a lot of these moms, because I know when I coach, and anybody up here that coach youth football or any other youth sport, half your time, your night after practice or after a game is spent taking kids home. So I think what he preyed upon wasn't naive moms or moms that wanted a replacement. A lot of times it's just moms that can't afford on their own dollar to do things. So they'd rather have their child in something than on the street. So shame on him. But I don't think it's a crack on the moms at all.
And the thing is that the guy actually, he got these kids to get PPP loans in their names. He went to hotels, And when he came with a group and he was talking about staying for a month or 2 months, they would ask him, did you want net 30, net 60, or net 90? So he would ask for net 90 for those of you that don't know, net 90 means you don't have to pay until 90 days. So, but he would put the hotels in the kids' names, the rooms in their names. So now these kids are out here with PPP loans in their names that they didn't get any of the money from. And also their credit is messed up because they got these lawsuits in regards to the hotels. He did all this type of stuff. But again, he targeted hungry kids that was trying to get to college. He made it seem as, like I said, made it seem as if it was, what's not charter, what is it that they call it? Prep school. He made it look like a prep school to where they can get an extra year. He did it in the state of Ohio where the rules, he found the loopholes. The dude ain't do nothing illegal, which is the craziest thing to me. They can't arrest him for anything. He got away with it. He actually got the team to actually play on ESPN. The team actually traveled, I think, to 3 different states to play. He did all of this, and he did all of this on the backs of those kids because he put things in their name, but he targeted kids that wanted to do better for themselves and their families. But as you said, it was a single mother in there that really, probably don't know too much about football and where it's going at and everything, and they just, went with the yes on it. I know, Dwayne, go ahead, man. I know you had a lot on this one.
Well, I'll say this, and this one thing I noticed about this is Deion Sanders and this situation. Deion Sanders takes in a lot of young men that lose their dads, and he mentors them, as they play through playing football. Get them to college, Division I colleges, get them drafted into the NFL. Pac-Man Jones, Lewis Clean, Tony Sanders. There's so many players that Deion has actually mentored, and got them on to bigger and better places. So this man used this platform that he had,
and Snoop Dogg,
and he used this platform he had to manipulate these young men. Not only did he manipulate these young men, he emotionally, scarred them. A lot of the men talked about wanting to kill themselves, and the backlash they faced from even going to the high school in the first place. When, let's just say, they may have went to a JUCO. You know what I'm saying? And they could have, then progressed like a Last Chance U, like we see on Netflix. And these guys go on to bigger and better things in, Division I colleges. But he preyed upon that. But not only did he prey upon it, he messed them up even worse. And the whole time, the guy was mad at the kids, and he said that the kids were entitled, and they didn't appreciate the things that he did for them. And the reality of it is you set them back. You didn't help them. You know what I'm saying? You didn't put them in a better position. If you were there to put them in a better position, like they asked them in the beginning of the series, you knew it was wrong.
Speak louder. They can barely hear you, Dwayne.
Yeah, Dwayne talk like a pimp.
No. You knew it was wrong, but would you still do it? And he said yes. And that's the wrong mentality to have. That's the wrong mentality to have about anything. If you know it's wrong, and even though you can get away with it, would you still do it? And it should be no. And the reason why is because you never know what the ramifications in the future are going to be. Because you say you're trying to help these kids, but you turned around and hurt them. So
let me ask y'all a question, because I haven't seen it yet. But did y'all see where he was actually trying to hurt them, or was his goal the whole time a scam?
It was a scam.
It was a scam,
because he wasn't a coach. That's what it kept on asking him. They kept on asking the kids, because you know what a coach is. They kept on asking the kids, was he a coach? And all the kids kept on saying, no.
Yeah,
They would say, well, Roy, he. And they would always have like a way to describe him. They never said he was a coach.
The dude said, he looked into the camera and he said, I'm an honest liar. And he didn't smile. He looked into the camera and said, I'm an honest liar. And his whole thing, it's like he's living in a different dimension. Honestly, he said something about he had a brother that went to Ohio State. When I'm looking at documentaries, I start looking people up. I couldn't find his brother that ever went to Ohio State. And I'm sure that he used these types of things when he was talking to these moms or whatever. But no, I don't see where everybody kept asking him, why did you do it? And he basically didn't answer it, but it just sounded like he was saying, because I could. It's about getting a spotlight, thinking that this was going to, I mean, he played on he got these kids to play on ESPN against the #1 ranked high school, and they got slaughtered.
Destroyed.
The commentators was going, hey, man, this is getting bad. These kids are going to get hurt. They didn't have a medical staff. One of the kids got hurt. Who ran out there? One of the kids' moms ran out there. And she wasn't a medical professional at all. She was a mother. But again, it just makes, if there was a dad in that house or anywhere around, an uncle or something around, I don't think that he could have gotten this far. Were there other male coaches, assistant coaches? He has one guy he had one guy that really stood by his side, so he was brainwashed too. This guy stood by his side through the whole documentary.
But let me say this: no, they did have coaches. They had position coaches and everything. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
so what were their roles?
They didn't want to get. They didn't want to touch it. It's like a gasoline fire. Everything if you was associated with it, everything you have done now looks like it's tarnished.
The other coaches coached. You know how you have volunteer coaches. They don't know nothing about schooling, but he had just strictly coaching. Yeah, it was just coaching, but he had a whole address for a school that first it started off as a Christian school, and then finally they had to come out and say, we have nothing to do with them. And I forgot what the name of the school was before. The crazy thing is BS High, which you would think would mean bullshit high, which it does, but actually he had a name for it. It was called Bishop Sycamore. Bishop Sycamore, BS High, but it's actually bullshit high because there actually was no high school. Yeah. They never went to a class. They stayed in hotels and apartments. He had apartments leased for these kids in their name. They had no idea. He was telling them to sign this and sign that. They thinking that he telling them to sign something about a college, something like, given. It was just bad. It's still amazing to me that he got away with it, and I just wonder how is it that he was able to do it with no eyes able to see something has to be wrong?
Where was the school located?
Ohio.
Did he ever describe what an honest liar was?
He did not. He didn't describe it was. He just kept saying, I'm an honest liar. I'm lying, but I'm honest about what I'm lying about.
So he's a politician.
Yeah. Yeah. But
at the end of the day, you can't blame that on the mom. A lot of inner city kids, and not just inner city, when somebody's in a poor situation and a mom being there and a dad being there, a lot of those people bank on their kids getting them out of that situation. And it's like a pipe dream, like they win the lotto because their kid runs a 4.3 and they don't have the mental capacity or the education a lot of times to see the bullshit because all they see is in 4 years he gonna be in the league, so that's an issue. I don't think it's a gender issue.
Yeah, I don't blame it on the mothers. But what I will say is if you're a single mother out there and you have a boy that's into sports and some people come up to you talking, if your son has some problems getting into college or whatever and they come up to you talking about they can help you, this, that, the third, what I'm asking you to do is actually seek advice from somebody that knows something about sports.
So are we saying that they were not technically supposed to be in high school?
Some of them weren't.
No, I'm talking about were they supposed to be in school?
No.
Were they had the assumption they were in school?
They were under the assumption that they was in school.
In high school or
high school.
So they didn't go to another high school and play.
So
wait. Some did, and then they left. They went to this guy supposedly that was going to help their chances of getting a college scholarship. So it was like a prep school.
Can we say we can't blame the mothers?
Yeah, I don't blame the mothers.
But
there's somebody taking advantage of these people.
But my question is, if they were supposed to technically be in school, are you saying that no mother said, "Let me see your grades"? What classes are you taking?
Exactly.
Yes.
And what was the answers?
They wasn't asking.
Who wasn't asking?
Their mothers wasn't asking.
You gotta blame that.
I mean, we got to throw a little blame here. Then
There was a family that did. I know that. I think it was a single mother household, but they started asking about the grades, and with this guy, he probably had some stuff that he could send to them to showing that they was a B student or something. This guy was so.
I'm not asking the coach about the grades. I'm asking my child. So what classes are you taking? What do your grades look like? Who are the I mean, there should be something. My kid's in college, and I'm still asking these questions.
But that's what I said.
You know what I mean? So I'm saying there's no questions being asked.
No. Well,
I mean, that's a problem, though. You know what I mean? That's not
that's
just
what I'm saying. They're looking at it as a meal ticket, not or they,
Well, that's
rich.
then there's some fault on the parent on that end. You got you, Phoenix.
Let's go. Shoot it. Top 5.
Y'all heard my last one in regards to moms. If somebody come at you like that, find somebody that knows something about this athletic prowess or the scholastic way to get it done. Find somebody. If you don't know about it, please ask for help and make sure that these people are not taking advantage of your situation. All right. So with that,
And the PPP loans, are they not accounted for?
the PPP loans, these kids signed it as if they were working. I think
Skip the top 5.
one they put down was a barbershop. Is that right, Dwayne? Put down like their occupation was a barbershop or whatever, and they got PPP loans.
Wow.
I think it was like, I saw one that was like 18,000. It was crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
So the guy made some money. He made some money. So, now these kids are messed up. So you got your top 5?
I do.
There we go. Top 5. Here we go.
We're right into it. All right, so I'm gonna make it easy for you guys. You should have really thought about it from last week. Nobody asked me for a hint, so there you go. There it is, man. We went with the top 5 dads last week, so naturally I'm gonna come right back with your top 5 TV moms. Your top 5 TV moms.
Okay. All right.
I'll jump on it real quick.
What? Okay, go ahead, MJ.
Crash and burn. Claire Huxtable,
Number 1.
number 1, hands down. It's not even close. Weezy.
Weezy Jefferson.
Yeah, you got to go with her. Let's see. Rerun's mom.
Rerun.
Yeah, big fat dude.
You never saw Rerun,
He
Mama.
ain't never see his mom.
You mean the mom on What's Happening?
Yeah, what's happening? I know it's
Rogers mom.
Roger's mom.
We never saw Rerun, Mama.
Rerun or Dwayne's mom.
They Rerun whatever, Mama.
Right.
Yeah, and
we ain't see neither one of their families.
We saw Dwayne dad one time. He was a politician.
Let's see what else.
That's one of mine too, man. You stole that one.
That's why I want to get on.
That's why he did it first.
Now I'm drawing a blank like a mother. Tap out. That's my 3.
God, dog.
I'm trying to think of someone different than you guys already.
I know, that's what
mentioned.
I'm doing. I'm killing me over here.
Empire.
Oh, say that out loud.
Yeah, nah, I can't even support her. I can't support her.
Hilarious.
You know what? I'm gonna give Jefferson's.
Weezy.
Jefferson.
I'm gonna give Weezy. And what's happening? Roger's mom.
All right. I got to go with Aunt Viv, man. I couldn't take her off the list. Dark skinned Aunt Viv. I liked her better than light skinned Aunt Viv. That was crazy how they just flipped that. It's crazy. Just like they flipped the kids. One kid went upstairs, a totally different kid came downstairs. It was crazy. And I got to go with Walona, Penny's mom. She was an adopted mom, but she was still mom.
Horrible mama. She's a horrible mom. But go ahead.
Oh, well, I ain't gonna use Penny's real mom because that was the horrible mom. The one that hit her with the iron.
Oh, you said Valona.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the horrible one.
Burned her with the iron, yeah.
Okay. You said Valona, my bad.
Betty Rubble from the Flintstones. Bam Bam's mama.
Too funny.
I had to pick between her and what was Fred's wife?
Wilma.
Yeah, between I like Betty because she had dark hair. I liked her. I ain't like the redhead. They both had nice waistlines.
They did. Still do.
Great waistlines. Yeah, great waistlines. No shoes. Man, it's hard. You can't leave Claire Huxtable off your list. I hate to use it because everybody else did, but it's Claire
But
Huxtable.
she was the greatest TV mom, probably, of all time.
Yeah. And I hate to
He
do it to
said
you.
creepy. Tom Vick said creepy on your cartoon comment.
Hate to do it to you, Lo, but I got to go with Florida.
I know it, man.
Got to go with Florida every damn.
You know it.
Florida was the worst mom?
She was not supportive of none of her kids.
Man, Florida was on it. She was a church mama.
And she was not supportive.
She believed in white Jesus.
Exactly. Michael was militant. Michael, don't you go out there and fight for your power.
That's why I got her, because she fought them boys. She went to the honeycomb hideout to get her baby.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did. Grabbed the bat, the whole nine.
After James gone.
Yeah, that was after James gone.
Shit, I guess I gotta do something now. James did everything. That's why she said damn.
All right, number 1 got Claire Huxtable, Julia, Mother Winslow,
Who's Julia?
TV show Julia,
Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
227 mom. Who was a 227 mom?
I know. Just finished talking about it.
Marla Gibbs.
I was actually going to say Marla Gibbs for the Jeffersons.
And the mom
She's the
on
baby,
Damon
she's
Wayans'
the mom.
show. That was one of mine.
Yeah,
That's a Tina
that was
Arnold. Tisha Arnold. Tisha Campbell. Tisha Campbell.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
That's on my list. Too late. Aunt got Good Times mom, number 1. Glenn got June Cleaver. All right. June Cleaver.
I respect that.
Yeah. My mom got Wilma Flintstone, Lois from Family Matters, Marge, Peggy, and Florida Evans. Millennium put on Marla Gibbs, 227. I guess I was answering the question. Yeah, read some football. Glenn got Monique, the Brady Bunch mom.
I was gonna say that. Brady Bunch.
Oh yeah, Monique from
Oh,
the
House
show?
of Pain.
Nah,
Moesha.
Moesha.
Was it Parkers?
The
The
Parkers,
Parkers. Rochelle from Everybody Hates Chris. That's on my list. That going. The Partridge Family mom. Kiki got mom from House of Pain.
Yeah.
Florida Evans, Claire Huxtable. Mom, but Will Auntie from New Fresh Prince, and Wilma Flintstone. Number 1 honorable mention, Erica Kane's mother, Mona.
Right.
Aunt Elena got Claire Huxtable, Rainbow on Blackest. Darn it, go another one of mine nobody picked. I thought I was gonna get away with that one. And you see, somebody would. Goldberg mom, 2020 Meredith Baxter, Family Ties, Florida Evans, and Louise Jefferson. All right, so I don't know where to go now. I'll try to catch a couple nobody got. The New Wonder Years. I don't know if y'all watch the New Wonder Years. I don't know her name.
Yeah, bro.
She got
love that show.
Yeah, but I like both the Wonder Years mom. The old school one and the new one. Somebody said sister. Mm-hmm. Modern Family. Gloria Delgado. Little Spanish lady from Modern Family. She's funny. Yeah.
Forgot my mom from.
Somebody say everybody hates Christmas. Yeah, Tichina. Carol Brady. Somebody say Carol Brady. All right, Carol Brady. Somebody say Carol Brady.
Brady bunch.
All right. What about B. Arthur? The old lady from
Did she have a kid? Did they have a kid?
Yeah, she had a daughter. B. Arthur from the Golden Girls. The Golden Girls. Yeah.
On the Golden Girls. I'm sorry, because she had another show too.
The older one, yeah.
The Golden Girls.
Yeah, mom was her daughter.
Yeah. And then I got one. How about this one? Nobody said. Martin's mama. Hey, my mama biscuits. You don't like my mama biscuits? Maud, there you go. Yeah. Martin's mama, man. Yeah, I got Martin mama.
Yeah. Martin mama just rose straight up the list. For real.
And of course, you know, Florida Evans, man. I don't care what Benjamin says. Florida Evans.
Hey, man,
Florida Evans is the thing.
Down.
Florida Evans, Clay Huxtable. We rock with both of them. There it is. All right, there go the top 5 for the week.
All right, another good show, man. Another good show. Mr. Hall.
What it is?
That was your shoe. Bro, go and let people know where they can follow you. Put some more words out about Atlanta Cigar
definitely.
Week.
You can follow me at I am Tony Hall on Instagram, Tony Hall on Facebook, or Atlanta Cigar Week on Instagram.
So real quick question.
Easy peasy.
How you feel now about the current climate of the cigar world and all the cigar lounges popping up everywhere from a connoisseur standpoint?
I think it's fairly healthy. If you have the right environment, you're going to survive.
Okay.
If you don't, you may not. But since COVID, we have more cigar lounges and shops and places you can smoke than anywhere in the country. And they're all surviving. It just shows that the culture
Except for
here
the one
is
downstairs.
growing.
Go ahead.
It's a growing culture. We have more cigar smokers, a healthier community than anyone in the country. So, the more the merrier. As a matter of fact, there are, 3 right now that are about to open up.
Right.
And we have over 100. Arguably, people say we have about 130 something, but we have over 100.
And black owned is like 30 or 20 something in Atlanta.
It might be more.
I think I saw the number
Shit, the
30.
Cab County got 30.
30. I think I saw like 33 black owned out of those.
Between shops and lounges and
Yep.
once again, we smoke at hotels, rooftops, nightclubs, like everywhere.
Yep, spoke at the podcast.
Go add that to the list.
Yeah. I mean, now, real quick, the Atlanta cigar, the cigar weeks that's popping up. I don't want to put you on the spot, but
What's up? What's going on?
But I mean, what do you feel about it?
It's a compliment. When we started Atlanta Cigar Week in 2017, individuals came from all over the world, all over the country. They saw what we were doing and figured they could take it back to their cities and do the same thing. Some are flourishing, some are kind of stuttering, but it's a good thing for the culture. What we like to do in the near future is form a collective and help everyone else to thrive by putting us all in a group and helping to get that national sponsorship so that everyone has the money that they need to do to put on a great cigar week.
Dope. I think the only one comparable to y'all is Houston right now. I've been to a couple. Charlotte's trying to come up, but their culture, their whole cigar laws and everything just changes things down that way. But I think Houston, running a close second to Atlanta Cigar Week. After that, I hadn't been to Orlando. You've been to Orlando.
Octavia thinks Orlando is I guess third.
And shout out Octavia Tolliver, Henry Ford.
Henry Stokes.
Stokes. Why did I say Ford?
You're close.
Ford is that dude that made the car?
He makes cars.
Octavia Tolliver and Henry Stokes. Those are the other two in regards to Atlanta Cigar Week. They dope. All three of them, major dope, for real. Follow Atlanta Cigar Week, and you'll see everything that's popping up.
I'm going to try my best to catch one of them events this time.
One.
Yes. That's
That's
about all I'm going to get.
He's here. He's running this club every night. It's hard for him to get out.
If I can give me one, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Edith Bunker, good one.
Ask the cop, what you got, bro?
Hey, it was another violent week in Atlanta. They have to find another formula. What they're doing now doesn't work. It's not a police issue. It's not a mayor's office issue. I think it's an issue with the community, and it has to be addressed at some point. People don't want penalties for keeping kids out, but one thing with a lot of these shootings that ring true is it's underage kids out and they get shot, and there's absolutely nothing done to the moms. Everybody says, well, you can't persecute the mom for that, but at what point do you keep making excuses for people that do wrong things? If you're not going to hold anybody accountable, why not hold a parent accountable? I know it's a bad time, but there's too many kids getting shot, and the thing about it that people aren't looking at, and not speak ill of the dead in some cases, because it's not all the cases, but in some cases, kids are out committing crimes, and the news just blips over that and just wants to talk about Pookie got shot. Well, there's a reason why Pookie got shot. He was in a bad situation at the wrong time, and parents have to start taking control of their kids and taking responsibility for their kids. I know I did. It wasn't always easy, but I did. That's all I got.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's very unfortunate, the amount of crime. I mean, it's just beyond belief. And they had 7 bodies found today, and all of them were kids.
Kids, yeah.
All of them were kids. So it's just beyond crazy, man. But it's hard to say. It's a hard one to just say the parents on some of the kids, because you don't necessarily know what some kids are doing. You know what I mean? It's more of accountability, I guess, if anything else. But it's sad. But I want to do a shout out real quick to, last week we shout out the wonderful job the girls did in track, men and women. But this week, man, shout out to Coco Gauff and the other 3 Americans that made the quarterfinals in the U.S. Open. They were the first time.
Coco made the semifinals today.
She won today too?
Yes, sir.
I missed it today.
So it's 4 black semifinals.
Go ahead,
Beat the
Coco.
20th ranked person. She's in there.
Hey, listen, I watched that whole match yesterday, Sunday, and it was just a phenomenal match, man, watching her. And when she lost that second set, the way she came back, she told the coach, hey, stop talking to me. And she went into a zone after that, man, won 6 straight sets, man. It was just phenomenal to watch, man. So shout out to Coco Gauff, man. I'm glad she won today, made the semifinals, man. I'm wishing her the best. And the rest of the Americans in the U.S. Open, man, it's kind of dope.
How long? The U.S. Open been going on for like a month.
Yes, it's a while.
All right, man. I don't have much. I'm gonna give a early happy birthday shout out to my partner in crime, Casper. My wife, Kaya. Her birthday is coming up this Saturday.
All right, Casper.
Happy birthday,
doing a
Casper.
couple of things. Anybody that's out there watching, if you want to come through a Sear Lounge tomorrow night, that's where we're gonna be at, kicking it. And Friday night, we're actually gonna go to the new spot, Goodfellas. We're gonna kick it over there. Goodfellas is BYOB right now.
Sears one on Thornton, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The one that you was at, we was over there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go over there tomorrow night, kick it over there. Friday night, we're gonna, like I said, go to Goodfellas. Saturday, we're having a big birthday backyard bash for out in Stone Mountain. I don't want to give my man's address out here. I just say it's in Stone Mountain. If you want to come through, reach out to me. Then I give you the address. Don't want to put his address out there and have all crazy people showing up. Tony know where it's at. He almost fell down the steps before.
No, I did. I go down the steps.
Fell down the steps.
I did.
I was hospitalized for that.
So so that's it for me to play. I'm gonna get more into that. We're doing that in January, Martin Luther King weekend. Oh, it still hurts me to say it. It's gonna be the first time in 30 years that I didn't go to Florida for flag football. Whew, still hurts.
I gotta drive. That hurts.
I gotta drive.
Hey man, we made a whole show with Unc still on, man. So that's impressive. I let you know how early we were getting off, man. Cause Unc did have to tune out this time.
Yeah,
we made it for you. How about that?
Yeah, appreciate you tuning in, Unc.
Most definitely.
That's right.
What time you gonna be able to see it tomorrow?
Shout out to
2
Unc.
week ending before 11. 6:37. This room get
Man, y'all
there
going early.
Yeah, we'll be there though. That's how Jasper and Casper do it.
True
You
that,
tell us
true
when
that.
you coming through. We'll be there. Angelo coming out. We'll wait. That's gonna do it, man. Classic Conversations with JT and Lo,
And that's a cop.
and we out. You dig?
Conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way to rap. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. Classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is gonna go. It's classic conversations with JT and Lo. You never know which way the rhetoric is going. Classic conversations with JT and Lo.